Hello all! First and foremost, I just wanted to congratulate you on your acceptance to the Bronx High School of Science. This is an incredible opportunity and you have no idea how amazing your next 4 years here are about to be. I am so excited to give you a quick tour and to answer a few common questions that you might have before entering. Before that, my name is Samama Moontaha and I'm currently a senior from Jackson Heights, Queens. I'm the director of Wolverines TV, a news and entertainment broadcast, and editor-in-chief of the Science Survey, our school newspaper. But that's enough about me. Let's head inside and take a look. Welcome. So the first thing you might notice when you enter is this 63-foot Venetian glass mosaic titled Humanities Protecting Physics, Biology, Chemistry, which features great scientists that made significant breakthroughs in the field of science. Personally, I am a big fan of its placement because it is the perfect reminder that as a student here, you should be constantly challenging yourself. On one side, you'll see the incredible front desk, and on the other side, which is behind me, you'll see the Bronx Science Hall of Fame. Now I know you're just starting out here, but don't worry, it might be your name up here one day. Just up ahead, we have the Auditorium, but we won't get to that just yet. First, let's head over to the math wing. And now we have made it to the home to some of our staple mathematics courses. Traditionally, what you'll expect is that as a freshman, you'll take geometry, as a sophomore, you'll take algebra 2, as a junior, you'll take pre-calculus, and as a senior, you'll end it off with calculus. But there are some instances where you might not exactly take this route, and I'll give you a couple of examples. One, if you took geometry as an 8th grader, you don't need to take it again as a 9th grader. Instead, you'll start with algebra 2, and you'll basically get a head start. A similar situation is if you don't want to take pre-calculus, you can actually go straight from algebra 2, usually it's honors algebra 2, to AP Calculus BC as a junior, so you'll be ahead of your peers. There are other nitty-gritty details that you'll have to pay attention to if that's an option that you want to take seriously, such as you aren't entirely skipping pre-calculus in the sense that you will have to take it online via Alex, which is a mathematical platform that you might not be 100% comfortable with or familiar with right now, but once you start classes here, you definitely will be introduced to it. And then there are other details that you do want to take into consideration when you start taking classes here. Mathematics has to be my personal favorite subject here because of the rich diversity in courses. You can challenge yourself with so many different honors courses, such as honors geometry, honors algebra 2, honors pre-calculus. You can take AP courses such as AP statistics, AP computer science, AP calculus AB or BC, and we're not even done there. We have so many post-AP courses such as game theory, financial and actuarial mathematics, multivariable calculus, and so many others that I can literally start naming them for hours, but you're just going to have to come in and explore them for yourself. While we're in this wing, I guess I'll answer a common question that I get, which is how much homework should you expect as a student here? I'll tell you that depends on 3 things. 1, your class level, 2, the teachers that you have, and 3, your personal time management. But for a rough estimate, you should expect about 30 minutes of homework per class per day. But don't let that scare you. You do get a lot of time in class, between classes, during your free periods, and on your commute to and from school, where you can take advantage of that time to just get a head start on your homework, start studying, and do whatever you need to do so that you have free time when you get home. But as we start to end off this math wing, just know that a lot of our classes are very specific, as you might have heard, and they cater to your specific interests and passions, so they're courses that you might have difficulty finding even in college. Now, I didn't want to make you wait too long before you saw the one and only Auditorium, so here it is. With assemblies, musicals, plays, concerts, and so much more, this auditorium will host so many of your memories and important events. As you can see, it is tremendous in size, and with impressive controls over our sound and lighting systems, we always put on a unique performance. Now, this may come as a surprise to you, but we take theater and drama very seriously here. Yep, you heard that right. Although we are reputably a STEM school, we go out of our way to provide as many opportunities in the arts as we possibly can to ensure that if that's something you're into, you can thrive in it. So we have just left the auditorium, but before we make it off to the physics wing, I just want to make a really quick detour. This is a display of our speech and debate awards. Making up about 10% of our student population, speech and debate is the biggest extracurricular that we provide. From rigorous practices to prestigious competitions, our team is no joke and has dominated its field for years on end. So that's definitely something you want to take a closer look at some point. And now we have officially made it to the physics wing. Much like math, there is a traditional route of classes that you can expect to take, but I'll get more into that in a different science wing. For physics specifically, you can expect to take it as a junior. In a nutshell, physics is where you learn about Newtonian mechanics, power, energy, work, and circuits through hands-on, inquiry-based labs. Initially, you can choose between Regents Physics and AP Physics 1, both of which prepare you to take the Regents exam, but AP Physics 1 prepares you to take the Advanced Placement exam at the end of the year and the SAT subject test if that's something that you're into. If you want to challenge yourself further, you can take AP Physics 2, AP Physics C, or Post-AP Physics, Modern Physics, which focuses on the basics of relativity and quantum mechanics. Granted, these are not the easiest courses that you can take here, but they are a lot of fun. So much so that we have a couple of electives that you can choose from. For example, we have astrophysics and astronomy because if you can't go to space, you might as well learn about them. We also have the astronomy club because clearly we're into that. We have just left the physics wing and we're actually going to speed through this hallway just because you won't really find yourself here too often. This is the home to the main office and more specifically our principal's office, but you again won't really need to be here unless one, you're called down, or two, you need access to a teacher's mailbox. But if we keep heading down, you'll see one of two entrances to the gym. And now we have made it to the gym. Fun fact, we actually have two. I'm currently standing in the smaller one of the two, but don't worry, I will show you both. In terms of our PE curriculum, we have a lot of different sports units. So we have basketball, badminton, hockey, soccer, and so many others. And we also have yoga units and meditation units, which usually take place around school-wide exam weeks to relieve some of the stress. Traditionally, you should expect that you will have gym 3 days a week unless you are participating in a PSAL sport. In that case, you can actually opt out of gym, but there are some very specific rules and regulations and details that you would want to look into first before you make that decision. But in terms of sports, we actually offer about 45 different sports that you can take, and practice will either occur in school, on campus, on Harris Field, or at centers a little bit farther away from Bronx Science. Again, it just depends on what sport exactly we're talking about. Back to traditional gym, when you come up here, first you need to go down to the basement, go through the locker room, change into activewear, and then you can come up here and start sweating for 45 minutes. One more cool fact before I show you the big gym is that we actually have very specific and unique features, including the cycling room and the fitness room, both of which I will show you. These are incredible additions that really encourage you to stay fit and stay active, and they do distinguish us from other high schools. Without further ado, let's take a look at the big gym. As promised, this is our cycling room. We will have at least one unit dedicated to this room every year. So it's an incredible resource. You definitely want to take advantage of. We have just left the big gym from the second entrance, or exit I guess you can say, and now we have made it to the center hallway of the first floor. Here you will find the library, and you can have access to regular books, textbooks, research materials, prestigious dictionaries, and so much more, making this place an absolute goldmine. We also have an array of computers and laptops available if you want to work independently, or if you want to use the printer if that's needed. Perhaps our greatest resource, however, is our librarians, who are very qualified and can help you conduct any research or find anything if that's what you need. I hope that you found the first floor very eventful because we have officially moved on to the second floor, and we're starting off with the English wing. I would argue that the English department is actually where you have the least flexibility in choosing what types of courses you can take, but I assure you, there's still some creative freedom here. As a 9th and 10th grader, you will take the grade-wide English course that all of your peers are taking. But as an 11th grader, that's when you're introduced to options. You can either take Regents English or AP Language and Composition. In both courses, you're being prepared for the Regents of English, and you're reading phenomenal pieces of work like Animal Farm, The Scarlet Letter, 1984, etc. But the biggest difference is that in AP Language and Composition, you're being prepared to take the AP exam at the end of the year. So the pace is a lot faster because at the end, you're going to be required to write 3 timed essays and answer passage-based questions. As a senior, that's when you have the most flexibility in choosing what courses you can take because you're choosing between APs. So you can choose between AP Literature Creative Writing and AP Literature Traditions. The difference between those is that in creative writing, you're reading different styles of works and then you're being inspired to produce your own work. In traditions, you're reading established pieces of work and then analyzing it and writing thematic essays based on it. So a little less creativity in that class, but still a lot of fun and very challenging. But now back to my idea about creative freedom. We do have a couple of electives. So one of which is the science or journalism workshop where you work on the science survey. I'm in journalism workshop and basically it prepares you for a professional lifestyle. So you learn how to prepare interviews, how to conduct research, and on the long run, how to write and edit articles that end up being published on a school newspaper. We also have graphic design where you structure, design, and take pictures for the Observatory, which is our official school yearbook. So those are 2 incredible opportunities in the English department you definitely want to take advantage of. While we are in the English wing, I do want to show you real quick what a classroom looks like so that we can answer the question of typically how large is a classroom and how can you expect the pace to be. Most classrooms range from about 25 to 34 students, which ensures that while we do have bigger, more productive classes, it is still small enough so that each student can be provided personalized assistance to excel at their own pace. And now we have made it to the chemistry wing. Of course, we have readiness chemistry, but we also have honors chemistry, AP chemistry, introduction to organic chemistry, and post-AP quantitative analysis. Now, while we're in this wing, I do want to quickly touch upon a common misconception that a lot of students have when entering Bronx Science. And that is that if you took chemistry or biology in middle school, that you don't need to take it here at Bronx Science. That is a lie. You are required to take at least 1 year of chemistry, 1 year of biology, and 1 year of physics here. And every year you will need at least 1 lab science course. So with that being said, depending on your prior experience, you do have some freedom in personalizing your academic map. And I'll give you an example. So I took biology as an 8th grader and I passed the living environment regions, which meant that when I started off here in 9th grade, I took chemistry, and then as a 10th grader, instead of taking Regents biology, I went straight to AP biology. Of course, I didn't have to repeat taking the Regents for biology, but I did get to take the advanced placement exam for it, and I felt prepared for it even though it was my very first AP in the school because of that prior experience. So if you share a similar story, then you can have a similar fate. Now, like a lot of science courses in this school, chemistry is very hands-on and relies on lab work. So before we leave this department, I'm going to quickly show you a quick lab. With chemistry labs, we have access to a ton of tools and chemicals to put what we're learning quite literally into our own hands. As you can see, we also have barriers put in place to protect ourselves when we're working with things like fires and chemicals. With each lab, every student is also required to wear goggles and practice strict safety regulations, which are both taught and tested on in the beginning of the year. Before we end out the second floor, I quickly wanted to show you a computer lab, which is predominantly used for science research classes. Science research is a 1-semester course provided for 9th graders. So in this course, you really start to get introduced to the field, conduct your own research, and then put together your own presentations. As you can see, we have an abundance of computers because this class is very independent driven. You use technology and resources that you might find in the library to get your own project going. Every classroom is equipped with smart technology. We have a smart desk and a projector system, which is oftentimes used to display student work. Now, you may have noticed that I mentioned that science research is a 1-semester course. So you might be wondering, what do you do for the rest of the year? Well, as a 9th and 10th grader, we have 4 foundational courses. As a 9th grader, you will take science research for 1 semester or half a year, and for the other half, you will take elements of engineering. I'll get into that in a little bit more detail in the basement in the engineering wing. But as a 10th grader, you will take rhetoric and composition for half a year, and then for the remaining half, you will take coding for all, which will introduce you to using programs such as Python and Raptor.
Now we have made it to the top floor of the school, the 3rd floor, and the first hallway you'll see is the World Language Department. The languages that we offer are Spanish, Latin, Chinese, Japanese, French, and Italian. We require that you reach the 3rd level of your language so that you can sit down for the language other than English exam, which is sort of like a Regents exam. I personally took Spanish in middle school, so when I started off as a 9th grader, I took Spanish level 2. As a 10th grader, I took Spanish level 3, and then after that, I dropped Spanish so that I could take other courses that I really enjoyed. So if you have a similar situation, you can do the same thing that I did, or you can continue by taking more challenging levels of the same language. Second language study is an asset to so many careers and to professional advancement. So definitely take advantage of the world language curriculum that we have to offer. If you're passionate about it or up for the challenge, be sure to look into our honors classes, our 4th year advanced courses, and or our APs. Beyond our world language department, we also have a thriving history department. You are required to take 2 years of global studies, 1 year of US history, and 1 year of government or economic study. From AP European History, AP World History, to AP Economics, we have so many challenging opportunities and courses that are also distinct enough to each provide a new perspective on history. And if AP courses in Humanities are not your jam, no worries. We also have Regents level courses in history available for every grade level. One cool opportunity I would recommend you keep in the back of your head is that as a senior, you can take AP Mid-Mac Economics. What's particularly unique about this course is that for the first half of the year, you're prepared for either AP Macro or Microeconomics, and for the second half of the year, you're prepared for the other. So by the end of it, you're prepared to take the AP exam for both courses. That's actually what I'm doing currently, and in a few weeks' time, I will be sitting down for both exams. So it is a fast-paced class, but it's a whole other experience that you won't really find anywhere else. So it's a great opportunity, it saves you time, and it does pile up your credits. So highly recommend that you look into that. And now we have made it to yet another science wing, but this might be my favorite one. This is the bio department, and we have so many electives that cater to very particular interests that you may have. We have forensic science, epidemiology, neuroscience, and so many others. They all are so detailed and complex just to make sure that you're the master of exactly what you want to study, especially if you're trying to go into something in the field of science. We also have a lot of challenging courses with APs such as AP Biology, AP Psychology, and AP Environmental Science. We also have post-APs in Psychology and Biology. Now, I saved these 2 courses for last just because they amaze me the most. But we have animal behavior, which you might be able to realize from the name, is where you study how animals live and interact. And we also have nutritional science, where you study nutrition and food, and our labs revolve around literally cooking. Yes, we eat to learn. That's the thing here. Here's what a traditional bio lab looks like. One lab that a lot of students taking AP Bio really look forward to at the end of the year is the pig dissection. It is a very highly anticipated event. Before we leave this department, I just wanted to quickly reiterate that as a student here, you are required to take at least 1 lab science course every single year. Now let's talk about performance groups. If you haven't noticed already, we do talk quite a bit about the arts, which means if you're not the biggest STEM student, you do still have a place here. Now with performance groups, we offer beginner ensemble, jazz band, concert band, intermediate band, orchestra, and chorus. All of these require additions, and sheet music and instruments are provided if they are needed. All of these courses are not mandated courses. They are elective minors or additional courses. But speaking of mandated requirements, you are required to fulfill credit requirements for arts and health. And a great opportunity to do so is through summer school. You can take 2 art classes and 1 health class. And you can take them as early as before you start freshman year. So that's actually what I did. Before 9th grade, during that summer, I came to summer school. I only needed to take 1 health class, and because I was part of chorus in my 9th grade, I was already accepted into it. So by the time I ended my 9th grade, all of my art credit requirements and my health credit requirements were fulfilled. So that is a phenomenal opportunity, and I highly recommend that you look into that as soon as possible. And back to performance groups. Everyone is required to perform in the winter and spring performance or concert. And if you are not performing, you should still stay after school and watch because it is a phenomenal performance. Still on the third floor, I wanted to quickly talk about a very unique class offer that we have, which is AP Digital Music Theory. This class offers a very intense study of music, possibly in the pursuit of music education beyond high school. You do need to take a placement exam to be seated for this class, but we provide phenomenal editing software and technology to give you a one-of-a-kind experience. Now we've worked our way down to the basement. You may see that I'm surrounded by lockers, and you might have noticed in other floors as well, but I'll talk about them now. So on your first year here, you will be assigned one locker that you'll keep for the rest of your 4 years, and you can visit them in the morning, in between classes, during your frees, after classes. It's a great resource. Speaking of in between classes you have a 5-minute transition period, which at first will seem like nothing just because you're really just trying to navigate through the school. You won't really know where every class is, so 5 minutes will be very chaotic and hectic for you. But I promise you, once you get a hang of things, 5 minutes will be more than enough time. I mean it. Also, another thing that you really want to take advantage of to be as efficient and fast as you possibly can is to take advantage of our stairwells. So we don't have just one, we have many on each floor, and each one leads to a very specific wing. So once you figure that out, they'll basically be shortcuts to your classes. So make stairwells your best friend, because especially the main one, the main stairwell in the center of each floor, that one is always going to be crowded. So definitely learn the side stairwells and figure out how to use them the best. So in the basement, we have a few classes sprinkled here and there, most of which are engineering courses. We have an entire wing or entire hallway dedicated to that, which I'll get to in just one moment. But besides that, we have an art history class and we have a math research class. That's a perfect segue to talking about our research program here. So research is a 3-year program that we offer, and in the first year you really learn the basics and you get introduced to research, what it would take, what you need to do, what you need to study. The second year you start finding a mentor, you decide what the topic of your project is really going to be, and you start putting it together by working in a lab, working with your mentor, and bringing it to life. In your third year or final year, you start to actually present it, you start to enter in prestigious competitions, and you just show the world the beautiful product that you made. We offer social science research, mathematics research, and computer science research, physical science research, and biology research. It takes a lot of dedication, passion, and hard work, but I promise you, it does have a tremendous impact on your professional life, so it will pay off. Another aspect of Bronx Science that makes us incredibly unique is this very room that I'm standing in right now. This is our weight room, or fitness room as some people call it. I am surrounded by all types of fitness gear and machinery to give you the full experience of having a gym membership, basically for free within school walls. At least one unit in your PE curriculum will be dedicated to just being in this room and exercising and working out. But you will have opportunities after school to come in and exercise at your own will. Right when you leave the weight room, you're going to enter the engineering department, or engineering wing. Right here is a display of some of the structures you might expect to make as a student in engineering. Now, as I mentioned earlier in this video, you will expect that as a 9th grader, you will take a 1-semester introductory course to engineering called Elements of Engineering. Here you will learn to 3D print, 3D model, and just the basics of circuit structures. Now, if you really enjoy that course and you want to continue exploring it, then you can take one elective, which is electrical engineering, and in this course you learn about programming and different types of circuit structures. And you can also take experimental engineering, where you design real-life solutions in hardware using micro platforms and embedded control systems, which sounds incredibly cool, so definitely don't want to miss out on that. Further down this hall, you will find the guidance department, which will probably be the most beneficial and helpful resource to you during your time here. They will help you with your course selection process, your college application process. They will talk to you about how you're doing in school and how you're doing at home, if that's something that you do want to talk about. All of your discussions are 100% confidential and stays between the two of you. We also have a ton of social workers who really understand different circumstances and will best be able to cater to any and every one of your needs. We have a very solid support system here at Bronx Science. So if that's something you're worried about coming in, don't be. We're very reliable and we're there for each other and we're always looking after each other. So that's something incredible about the Bronx Science community. In terms of academics, another really important support system that we have is SGI, or Student Guided Instruction. And basically what that is after the school day ends, your teacher will stay back on certain days, or some teachers will stay back every day, and you can come meet them in their classroom and just talk about what they went over that day. You can talk about homework, you can talk about something that didn't really sit right with you, or you can just chit chat about life. And that's a really awesome way to get to know your teacher more and catch up if you're behind. At this end of the hallway, you'll see that on one side we have the boys' locker room, and on the other side we have the nurse's office, in case that's somewhere that you need to visit at any time during your 4 years here. We also have the girls' locker room behind the camera, which you can't see, but it's okay. In real life, I promise you won't miss it. Behind me is the famous Holocaust Museum, which really encourages students to explore justice and moral responsibility, especially during this important time in history. So let's go inside and take a look. This museum has over 900 artifacts, all of which were either donated by alumni and local residents or bought off an auction over 3 decades. This 1,000 square foot museum has 3 exhibition galleries, an archive, and a classroom. We also offer a Holocaust leadership class where students learn about the different features of the Holocaust and are prepared to give tours to other students throughout the school. This museum is a centerpiece for embracing diversity while learning about the horrors that stem from discrimination and stereotyping. As you can see, we have displayed all types of propaganda posters, tools, letters, and so much more. I highly recommend that you take the course or at least come to visit the museum whenever you're given the chance. And I saved the best for last. Now we are in the cafeteria. You'll come in here every morning to start your day, to eat your lunch here, to socialize with friends, and to relax during your free periods. You'll be in this room quite a bit during your 4 years here. You'll also come down here to attend a lot of events that a lot of our clubs and teams will host. Cultural Day, for example, is a highly anticipated annual event that we host. It's basically where a lot of cultural clubs such as Vivo Latino, Asian American Club, Muslim Student Association, Italian Club, Greek Club, and so many others come dressed up in cultural clothing. They bring ethnic food, and we all just come together to learn about each other's cultures, eat and dance and put on performances and just have a lot of fun. So that's one example of things we do. In terms of traditions, we have quite a few of them down here. So one around the time of Halloween is the Monster Mash, and basically what we do is we provide a lot of candy to students and we transform the cafeteria into a haunted house, which sounds awesome, and it is awesome. Promise you. There's a lot of dancing, a lot of dressing up in costumes, and just relaxing and having fun. Another tradition is during Valentine's Day or near Valentine's Day, we'll have the Cupid Bash, where we basically do a lot of dancing, again, more candy. I'm gonna bring in a DJ to just jam out and have a lot of fun. During the springtime, we have a carnival, and we fill up this entire cafeteria with a lot of carnival games. Our campus, which I'll show you in a little bit, is also full of a lot of carnival games and cotton candy machines and popcorn machines and just a lot of different events to have a lot of fun. And remember that although we're here to learn, we're also here to socialize and get to know other people and grow as a person. Another thing is during winter break, we'll have a lot of winter events. So we'll go all out with decorations. We'll again provide a lot of food for everybody and do a lot of dancing. The center of the cafeteria will basically become a platform for people to just come together and do dancing, show each other moves, and it's just a whole other bonding experience that you won't really find anywhere else. And I'm not going to end off this cafeteria tour without mentioning a very special event that we actually have a couple of times throughout the year, and that event is Coffee House. Coffee House is basically karaoke sessions, and either you on your own or with your friends will come at the stage that we have at the back of the cafeteria. And we'll also have a professional DJ present who will be playing karaoke tracks, and you just sing like there's no tomorrow from the bottom of your heart. Usually we have these near like a school-wide exam week so that you can relieve yourself from a lot of stress, and it's just an amazing experience and a ton of fun, and something you should definitely look forward to while you're a student. And now we have exited the cafeteria and made it to our open campus. This is my personal favorite spot in the entire school because you just get so much fresh air, and it is the perfect place to unwind after a long day of school. Students will visit the campus before school, during their free periods, and after school. And as you can see, there's a lot of open space, so students will just come in with their friends, they'll play sports, they'll run around. And seasonally, we have a bunch of events like carnivals, and for those events, we'll come out to the campus, we'll decorate it, we'll bring in a lot of games, and it's just so much fun, and it's some of the memories that I'll miss the most when I leave Bronx Science. Another thing to note about the campus is that it is an open campus, so students will come and go as they please. So yes, this place is beautiful, but you might be wondering, okay, now how do I get here? And that brings in the perfect question about commute. How is commute? What can you expect on commute? And I'm about to tell you. So we have the 4 train and D train nearby, so that's really convenient if you're someone that wants to take the subway, or if the subway is convenient for you. In terms of buses, we have BX10, BX22, and BX26. Personally, I've been taking the train for all 4 years. I live in Queens, Jackson Heights specifically, so I get on the R train, and then I transfer to the 4 at 59 Lexington. And I would say in total, my commute takes about 40 minutes. But I use that time to catch up on sleep, to do some homework, and to study. So my commute is very productive and very valuable to me, and I'm sure it'll be very valuable to you too. If you're someone who lives somewhere where trains aren't very convenient or you're not near any, our PA is currently working with a private bus company to help arrange a service so that they can come closer to you, so that it is convenient and that it does not take too long to get to and from school. So you should visit the PA website to get more information about that. But to end off this campus talk, this is a beautiful and big open campus. You will spend a lot of your time here with your friends and by yourself to just be in the fresh air and just enjoy the school for everything that it is. We have convenient benches and obviously all this open space to just be yourself and enjoy the space. So I really, really hope that you take advantage of this space and you will love it just as much as I do. And that is it, everyone. That was our entire school. I just want to end off this tour by saying, yes, I did show you a lot of science and math courses and programs and offers, but we are not a purely STEM school. Don't let the name fool you. We still cater to a lot of your passions and interests in the field of art and humanities. On that note, I also want to quickly touch upon a lot of club opportunities that we have. We have literally hundreds and hundreds of different clubs. Some cater towards professional lifestyles like politics, medicine, business, entrepreneurship, and some are purely for fun, like Dungeons & Dragons, the Pokemon Appreciation Club, baking, acapella, and so much more. And if any of those still don't interest you, do not worry. You can make your own club at any time. Every year we have tens of clubs made brand new because students are just so passionate about it that they want to add it to the Bronx Science community. 2 things that I didn't show that you also might want to look into that are super cool and unique to Bronx Science are the planetarium and greenhouse. Those are on the rooftop and also very unique features of Bronx Science. Some academic teams that you might be interested in joining are Model UN or Model United Nations, a mock trial, Science Olympiad, math team. Those are all extracurriculars that require a little bit more dedication than our traditional clubs, but they are so worth it, a lot of fun, and do have a tremendous impact on your professional development. So I'm gonna stop rambling. I really truly do think that was it. I hope this tour was very helpful. I hope we got to understand what we have to offer and that you were astonished by all our different opportunities here and that you are excited to start coming to class here. I hope you have as much fun as I did in my 4 years here, and I really do know that you are destined to do incredible things. Good luck, everyone!